When the crowdfunding campaign ended, we got a modest return. I immediately put that money back into the production as we moved into March. February flew by almost like a blink of an eye. You see, the story of the French driver is in 3 parts. And I wrote each section in longhand form in a notebook. The French driver is a novel. It's a bigger piece. But I took those elements from the 3 sections and I constructed a feasible script. I did a lot of writing, and especially writing screenplays during the lockdown and pandemic, but I always went back to the story of the French driver. It captivated me, and there was something there that I wanted to tell and convey. I've always liked the idea of writing novels and turning them into screenplays, or the reverse, writing screenplays and then writing the novelization of that work or story. And for me, writing has always been a big thing. Even in school, I had an assignment in my English class where we were instructed to write an alternative ending to one of our stories. It could be a movie, a novel, anything, a story. And so I rewrote the ending to the Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. The teacher kind of pulled me to the side and she said, hey Anthony, the way you wrote this sequence and how you included music here and they should do here in terms of stage direction, that's very similar to screenwriting. And from that experience, it just, I was always intrigued in the idea of writing stories for the screen. And it continued as I went through high school and even through college and post, where I even taught myself how to write screenplays. I mean, it's the typical of a media student. You want to learn something, so you get a book and you learn how to figure things out. And so I literally got books on screenwriting, and I wanted to understand the technical aspect of how a story is structured for the screen. I view myself as a technical and creative person, and so what I wanted to understand was the technical aspect. And in reality, writing is something that is very experimental. You have your writers, the great writers throughout time, throughout different countries, who just read each other's works. They saw and they lived life, and through that system, they developed the way and prose of writing. And to this day, screenwriting is still very much fresh. It's still very much new. And there is a component to it. I always get excited when it comes down to writing screenplays and just the idea of writing. And on the side, I have started writing short novels and novels, coinciding with my projects that I'm currently in. I feel that with writing you have so much control and freedom, because at the end of the day, if you can't film your story or your screenplay, it exists. It's there. Someone could pick up your manuscript and read the story. In terms of writing for this production, I had to change certain scenes based off location changes or modified scenes to fit the creative and feasible mold. Sometimes you have to change a line because it doesn't fit, or you have to change a direction to fit the flow of the scene. In my case, I went through 3 different location changes. I had one that I originally wrote on my first location, and the second one, and then the third location changed. So I wrote it based off the layout of the facility, from the entrance to the exit to the rooms, all that. If people are curious on how films get made, things change. Things change in pre-production, production, post. It's a ever-changing cycle. That's why it's film making. You gotta view it as making food. You have your ingredients and then you change it, and maybe during your cooking process you add a little bit of spices, or you want to try something different. You don't want to do too much because you don't want the food to taste bitter or too spicy. In the case of filmmaking, you take those chances. Okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to change this, let's go with this idea. And I know that there's a lot of filmmakers that are very, very strict. They're very keen on wanting to have the exact line and everything their way. And again, it's up to them, to each their own. But I feel as a filmmaker, you do have to be able to be open-minded about changing either the line, maybe changing the scene, maybe the way the actor walks, and sometimes being open-minded and listening to the input of the actors. But on top of that, everything that was going on, I had several actors that had dropped because they had prior obligations to other projects. And so there I was handling production, and at the same time looking for actors to fill those roles. That's just part of production. You think that, okay, I have everything complete, everything's ready, but situations happen and you have to find a way to handle them. And so I'm very thankful that at the very end we got all the roles filled.